when you have a fever. I don't.
Okay. I don't then.
We are live, guys.
Oh, God. We were going live.
Yeah, we are live. We are live.
Hey, everybody, it's Dale Jr. Welcome to the Ask Junior portion of the show. This portion of the show, man, it's brought to you by Xfinity.
It is.
They are a premier partner for NASCAR, and you're a partner for Fast Internet. I'm a customer, believe it or not.
I believe it.
Yeah, I have Xfinity service, and I just got it. I think around February. Got the 200 megs.
Ooh.
So I'm loving it. Yeah.
You ain't playing around with that 200
No.
meg.
That's really not that much these days. Most people are getting like a gig download, 200 or something like that upload. But I remember when 200 was amazing.
No, really?
Oh,
You
yeah.
were the first one to it?
I
You
don't
tried
remember.
to be.
I remember
you know he was.
ISDN lines and all those things.
ISDN lines.
Yeah. Then the T1, boy.
That
I
was
remember when
moving.
Rusty Wallace's shop got a T1 line. And we're like, man, only hospitals have those. How do you do that?
Now you
Yeah,
got
Rusty of
now
all
you
people.
got X5.
This is back when I was doing, 28 or 4800 or whatever.
Yeah, he
The
had
dial-up modem.
he had his beat on everybody's internet speed all over Mooresville.
Y'all wasn't taking it serious.
No.
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 You weren't
No.
taking the internet serious back then.
No. Do now though.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, the Ask Junior portion of the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing to our YouTube channel at Dirty Mo Media. I know you guys love the content there. We got a lot of it coming out. Don't forget, Lost Speedways, July 15th on Peacock, our streaming network for NBC. It's a streaming platform that's coming out. So we got Lost Speedways, great TV show that I created for you guys. I hope you'll enjoy it. July 15th.
You can get it on Xfinity, man.
Well,
Peacock.
yeah, if you have an Xfinity, so a lot of people are like, man, I don't want to buy another streaming service. But if you have Xfinity, you get it for free. And so there, yeah, hopefully you have Xfinity. Oh, man. All right, so let's go ahead. Leah's going to help us as usual. Leah's right here on the TV in front of me. Leah's going to help us with the questions you guys got.
All right, Dale. First question coming from Michael Batten. Is there anything NASCAR can do for the safety of pit crew members, especially on tracks with a narrow pit road?
I don't know what NASCAR can do in that situation other than bring pit road speed even slower. Maybe under yellow flag conditions, the pit road speed can be slower. That'd be difficult for the drivers, though, if they have to remember to be 35 under yellow and then 55 under green. I don't know what the answer is. I think when I was watching this happen, that was the only thing that popped into my mind in that moment. Knee-jerk reaction, you got to be careful with those, but slowing the cars down. If the cars are going slower, that chain reaction is less violent, less cars involved in it, less people weaving recklessly out of the way, and maybe it doesn't happen. You can't be sure. There's still going to be cars crashing, damaging themselves, but maybe it doesn't spill into the cars that are being pitted by the crews at that particular point. That's the only thing I can think of. It's a very, very narrow pit road, 24 feet from wall to wall. If you've got a car in the pit stall on the inside of you, that's taking up at least 10 feet probably at the minimum. So now you got 14 feet, maybe even less than that, 12 feet for the rest of the cars to travel down pit road, pull into their boxes, pull out of their boxes. There's not many races that we have at Indy where during those first few pit stops, when there's basically the entire field on the lead lap, that we don't have damage. We don't have cars banging into each other, really getting serious damage that either knocks them out of the race or ruins any shot at getting a good finish. We had the same thing last year. So it's just a treacherous pit road. I'm sure NASCAR is going to look into it. And typically when something like this happens, they make a change. So don't be surprised if we see something coming down the pipe.
A lot of questions. People really seem to enjoy the NASCAR IndyCar doubleheader on Saturday. So Patrick Lyons, aside from Indy, where else could we see an IndyCar NASCAR doubleheader?
Oh, man. The Roval, maybe. Watkins Glen. Sonoma. All the road courses fit into that. I haven't even thought past the road course.
Daytona. Somebody in our YouTube chat saying
Daytona.
Roger.
I don't know about that. I don't know about Indy cars going around Daytona. I don't know if they'd be wanting to. Even if they ran the road course, it's possible. But
I've got a suggestion. Richmond. They already run at Richmond, don't they? I just think Richmond's just the coolest little track. I think that would be an awesome doubleheader.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. I have to think beyond. Maybe Texas might be a good one. I have to think where does the IndyCar, let's think about where IndyCar runs that Cup doesn't run. Road Atlanta, Road America, places like that might be great new venues for the Cup Series to go, where we could be a guest of the IndyCar Series. That they've got a tradition there, they've got some history there in that particular racetrack, and we could go be racing there for the first time. Hey man, they don't always have to be coming to us. It could be this is a two-way street here, and certainly when we're making this connection with IndyCar and we're having this sort of venture together, we want to share the success, and they're gonna headline some events, and we'll headline some events, and I'm sure they're working all that out.
Hey, the city courses, where do they run?
City courses,
yeah, like St. Pete.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, man. Let's go to Surfers Paradise.
There you go. Obviously, the music industry lost a great one yesterday, and Charlie Daniels, Robert Olmsted, is asking if you have any memories of Charlie.
I do. I don't even remember when this was. It was right around the time when Martin Truex Jr. was racing in the Xfinity Series for us at Chance 2. Charlie came to play in Charlotte, and me and Truex, TJ Majors, my buddy Sean Brawley, and a bunch of other guys went to see him play. He had us. There was he had a coach there or bus or whatever, and we went up in there and sat and talked to him for a while. I got to meet him a long time ago, over probably 12, 15 years ago. And then he played recently. He played at the Hendrick Motorsports end of the year party, Christmas party, whatever you want to call that. It's a bit of a celebration in the company where all the employees come to an event, and they kind of hand out some awards and whatnot. And he played that event, and it was really cool to see him there. But he was one of the greats.
Was he a good person? I mean, like when you would be in the bus with him?
Oh, very nice.
Conversationalist?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was very he was a race fan. So when I met him that day back then, 15 years ago, he said adamantly, I don't watch much Cup racing. I love the Xfinity Series. Wow. He knew Martin really well because he watches that. He was, at that time, a big fan of that series and the younger drivers, and watching these guys sort of make their way and try to get into the Cup Series. And he was like, I love that Xfinity Series. He's like one of those guys that's a big college football fan, maybe doesn't watch the NFL.
Right. What the point of me? Yeah, me. I didn't. I didn't know what you were getting at there, but yeah, I'm a college football guy. Yeah. I don't much care about the NFL.
I'm like, man, Mike used to be in our fantasy football league, and he's like, I'm not really much of an NFL fan. I'm bowing out of the league. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's kind of like
So that's
Charlie's
interesting. You don't hear many people that just like, I just watch Xfinity racing. I mean, that's good for them.
He gave me the bow that he used to play that night, and I have it in a case.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That's cool.
Why is that not in our studio?
Because it's
in a case. Because it's where he doesn't want it in the studio, right? That's why.
I suppose I could bring it over.
No,
here.
it's okay.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Jeffrey Davis is watching on YouTube, and he wants to know if you have any thoughts on 3-digit numbers.
Oh no, let's not do it.
Look at Matthew.
Oh no,
Matthew's upset. You've hurt.
Well, I don't know, y'all. That's a good question. I don't know about that.
They didn't look good on NASCAR. What was it? 09 that had it, Dale?
Is this a random question, Leo, or has this been in the news, or what?
No,
I mean, it's just a random.
I think it's just a good question on the heels of number placement on the cars.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of talk about moving the numbers around to be able to accommodate better positioning for primary sponsors and so forth, and which we debated heavily, and obviously, absolutely, man. My opinion on that has not been concrete as I felt like it might have been as far as the numbers moving. I've kind of warmed up to the number position being kind of anywhere on the side of the car, just as long. I don't really like it on the quarter panel behind the rear tire. Don't like that. But anywhere in between the wheels, I'm pretty happy with. I got to compromise, right? So we all got to compromise a little bit. We can't just be so hard-headed that it's just got to be one way.
I'm going to help you. You don't want the 3-digit numbers, because that makes the number smaller. And
I don't know about that.
Not always.
Not always.
Not always.
I'm not.
111 will probably be big, but other than that,
Do you know the last 3-digit car number that won a racing cup?
Sure, tell us.
Wood Brothers.
Yeah, 121.
Bingo.
Yeah. Dan Gurney?
Yes, 1968.
Riverside.
Yes.
Oh, man, look at
Damn,
me.
look at you,
me
Rain
go.
Man.
Look at me go.
Rain Man
Man.
just showed up. Mark
I,
Train is over here going, I want in on this.
And let's talk about it. Okay, there's a great example. That didn't bother me a bit. All right, so just if it's going to get brought up and it's going to become a thing again, I'm not gonna go get triggered and be like, oh no! Hey, didn't bother me back then.
He's not going to go on Nashville Fairgrounds on anybody.
Yeah. So triple numbers. If somebody really wants one, let them run one. Okay.
What about double digits with a letter?
Yeah.
Ooh, like an X89.
Like the old dirt cars.
Yeah.
I like the X numbers.
Number 6K or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm good with numbers. I always liked them when they were inside the letter was inside the number.
The number.
3K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mousy Campster.
Because they used to have the North and South or
Yeah.
the East and West K&N series compete against each other, and they would have that letter just to be able to depict who was from what region, and you certainly see it a ton in dirt racing, whether it's sprint cars or late models. A lot of letters, but I'm great with that. Yeah, whatever. Whatever.
Bring it on, he says.
Okay. Just keep them numbers in between the wheels, man.
One number is on the front, one number's in the middle, and one number's on the rear quarter panel. Spread them out.
All right, one more question. This one coming all the way from Australia, from Adam Berg. Hi, Dale. I'm from Australia and would love to see a NASCAR race live. I've never been to the States, so I want for my first NASCAR race to be an experience. Where should he go?
Oh my
Best
God.
experience.
Come
Hey,
with Paul
first
Morris.
off, big fan of Australia. I was just telling Amy, we were just talking about this yesterday, how I'm like, man, we got to go. I'm dying to take Amy there, and she's like, when are we going? Because we're in the middle of having kids, right? So we can't go anywhere.
Quit having kids, you can go to
I know.
Australia.
Oh, man. I also want to go to Dawson City in Canada. I watched this documentary about these guys that floated down the Yukon River. It was an old documentary.
Uh-huh.
They stopped in Dawson City. It looks pretty fun.
Wow.
Anyhow,
Australia to Dawson
back to
City.
Australia.
Yeah.
The first race that I would go to is, man, if this all-star race sticks at Bristol, got to go to that. When I was a little boy, I wouldn't really get too bent out of shape if I was not able to go to this race or that race or any. No, I knew that school and things were going to be obstacles to going to all of the races. I wanted to go to every race, and sometimes I didn't get to go, and it sucked, but it was okay. The one that was not okay, the one that it was breaking my heart, the one that I was going to throw a fit, the one that I was going to refuse to miss would be the night race at Bristol. That track is it's a stadium, and it's just a beautiful structure, impressive to see in person. The racing there is always dynamite, and I would say, because you can, if I say Daytona, the Daytona 500 certainly an amazing race, but when you're at such a big venue for your first event, you really only experience whatever's around you in that vicinity. and you only experience the race from one perspective, you're limited on being able to really see what the cars are doing in turn 2 or down the back straightaway and pit road. You kind of watch the guys in front of you, but can't see really what's happening at the end of pit road. Wherever you are, you kind of limited on the experience. At Bristol, man, it's all right there in front of you. It's all within arm's reach, and it's just carved into this mountain. It's a cool thing, and it's still, even after the changes and evolution of that racetrack over the years, it to me is still the best ticket, that night race at Bristol. So I think if I look at it like this, like if I'm trying to send somebody to the racetrack that's maybe not even interested, all right, which one would you send them to? One that you know is going to hook them. One that you know is they're going to look at it and go, whoa, this is awesome. Bristol night race. So, Mike, you got a different opinion?
I do.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't go give him the best right off the bat.
Oh,
I would get because then the second race.
I don't want to take any chances on not
I would
hooking
give them Daytona first because it's not going to disappoint, and then bring them to a smaller track where the intimacy. Hold up, stop. Let me finish. The intimacy then captivates you regardless of what the race is, and you already know Bristol's going to deliver. Man, the change from the big super speedway and going down to the intimacy of a short track is amazing. And I know that because I went to Talladega my whole life first. And then when I went to my second cup race after going to Talladega for years and years was Charlotte. I couldn't believe how close I was getting to see, and I could see the entire track. Charlotte felt like a short track to me because it was and I couldn't believe it. And I was amazed by it. Then you go to Bristol, and now it's a game changer. Yeah. And now you're hooked. I think that's how
you want him to go to 3 events to get hooked. I want him hooked in that first one.
But Daytona would do it.
I'm not 100% confident in that.
Really?
Listen, I am 100% confident in Bristol night race.
Uh-huh.
Doing the job, getting them in, making fans. They're going to Daytona once they go to Bristol.
Okay.
I can guarantee you that. Because if they fall in love with it at that first race, then they're going to want to go to the biggest event of the year.
Maybe it has the same effect on the enormity of it. I mean, one way or another.
I think you knocked down the same dominoes, Mike, either way.
Let's talk about it for 10 more minutes.
Yeah. I think you knocked down the same dominoes either way.
Right. It has the same effect. Yeah. All right, so there you go, Mr. Australia. We've given you your next 3 races.
I hope he's watching right now because I know it's...
He probably not.
Well, I know it's in the middle of the night over there or whatever, but or maybe it's time to go to bed. But we appreciate everybody listening overseas, Australia, wherever you're from. The international viewers and supporters really always impress me because that takes a little bit of effort, but appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, that's all for today.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in to the Ask Junior portion of the show on our Dirty Mo Media YouTube channel. Don't forget, Lost Speedways, July 15th on Peacock, new streaming platform for NBC. Also, thank you to Xfinity for sponsoring this segment of the show. I'm a customer. I love it. Give it a shot. If you got an Xfinity account, you get Peacock for free. And Xfinity is a premier partner for NASCAR, your partner for fast internet. Thank you, guys.